Campbell's Comments and Nutrien here in New Zealand at the beautiful Karaka complex. Mark Barton joins me. Hello, Barto.
Yeah, g'day mate, how are you?
Beautiful place. Sun just disappeared, unfortunately, just as we started filming, but it's a lovely place.
Yeah, look, we talk about Sydney and what they've done there with that Riverside stable. It's a beautiful complex, but the history and the feel of this is a bit like Oakland's Junction. It's hard to replace history. It's a wonderful spot to be.
And the rose between the thorns, we'll be polite. Stacey White, firstly from Woodlands, thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Paul. Always a pleasure to join you guys, and it's nice to have you back in New Zealand.
You're actually an Australian when you think about it.
I wouldn't say I'm an Australian.
We've had this conversation a few times, haven't we? Technically, there is a little bit of a family bond, I suppose, between you guys as well, which is quite unique, isn't it? Like, considering you're from Wagga and Kiwi, but you're very closely.
We both agree we're probably there to try and improve the genetics. In the cousins-in-law, we'd probably come up as.
Yeah. I hope Christy's watching this. That's all I can say. Get him in trouble. What we want to do, Barto, in all seriousness too, is Nutrien is I suppose, growing in experience and changing it up.
Yep.
We've got this board behind. We're going to get to that in a minute. But just being here today at these weanling sales and how it gets done, how things are changed up, and the professionalism that comes with this complex.
Yeah, look, we came here before we ever had a sale, and Woodlands were terrific when we first started. They became an immediate sponsor of our concept. A lot of what we've seen with the way these guys promote their brand and promote themselves, we've plagiarised a lot of that in our first couple of years, and I know Stacey's had a lot to do with the way that the Woodlands brand's promoted. So we certainly looked at benchmarking the way we want to get better. New Zealand bloodstock and the leading studs over here do it as well as anyone in the world.
They do, and they do it differently, Stace, and I think you're a little bit of the driving force behind a lot of what Woodlands do. This is the second time I've been here, and I've seen a little bit of change this year, but it was just jaw-dropping when I first come. And I was actually helping you set up last year and putting these signs up. I was like, wow, where does the inspiration sort of come from, and who directs it?
It's a little bit of a team effort, I think. When I first started working for Woodlands, I'd never been to Karaka. I'd only been to the Christchurch sale, which is quite different to the setup down there is quite different to up here. And I quickly learnt that we needed to sort of step up just to be visible. I think it's important for ease of everybody to find horses in the stables easily, quickly. To have buyers that are looking at horses, not have to wait around for the next one. So we've got sort of a system where the next one's always ready that they want to look at. So we're going, through them quicker, which is good for our staff because we have other buyers waiting to look at horses too. I guess it was just an overall, every year we look, how can we do it better? How can we make it easier? How can we sell more horses?
And that's a bit of at the end of the day, you are a selling barn. I mean, they all get sold. Every now and then one will be retained for broodmare potential, but potentially they are all sold. So that makes a little bit of a difference, I suppose, to how you guys attack things. Yeah,
for sure. Every year Tony, Kelly and Andrew sit down and they sort of talk about what stock's going to go where and how the families are going, the stallions. Obviously we're really excited on that front to have the first crop of lather upcoming into the sale tomorrow, and Speeding Spur as well, he's been a resident Woodlands horse all the way through the syndicates and things. So I think it's just an exciting time, and to see so many Australians back, and even just the atmosphere today at the parade with Kiwi buyers as well is really cool.
And they are all here. Branding, Barto, you and I talk about it a lot, and it's very important. He's actually a little bit of I don't know if I've got his pants in or not, but the way Nutrien do it at Tamworth especially, and we've said this, Barto, that there's blue jeans, green shirt for when you're working, but not when you're, I suppose, switching on 100%, white shirt, cream pants, a tie goes on, the whole box and dice. Hence the reason he's a little bit of... But it is so important. And to see the way Woodlands roll out with all the staff, and Alabar in fairness, across the road there, it's so professional, isn't it?
I think it's important to be proud of the brand. And also I think good people then create a brand, so I think that is part of it. And you what we're selling here, we're selling elite stud genetics. Like it's not a weekday sale. Like we sell livestock as well as a business, so we want to actually look at the 3 years of work. You're choosing what size to use. You're conceiving that mare. You're actually watching that foal hit the ground. You're then handling weanlings in this case, or you're prepping yearlings. So it's a big job, and I think we owe the respect to those handlers, the studs, and those breeders and those stallion owners that they get their day in the sun. That that want to invest in serious investment in livestock are given that opportunity or treated that way.
And it works the same with you guys, doesn't it, Stace? I know I didn't see it again this year, I didn't see it, but you started issuing all the jackets and the vests to all the staff. They actually love it. They want them fitting right. They want to be making sure they're looking good because they're all upbeat about it. They know they're going to be on camera. They know they're going to be in shot.
Yeah, and I think even for, like I say again, for the buyers that are looking for horses to be able to spot a staff member from a distance, to know they can go up to them and be able to find the horses they're looking for. So, and it creates a good image. It does, for sure. They like to be looking presentable because they are on camera and getting photos taken and that and the other thing. But I think it sort of lifts the level of the sale as well, because Karaka is such a prestigious place. You almost feel like you've got to lift the game all the time. So you can't come here not looking the part, otherwise you'd be left behind for sure.
I love it. Anyone comes up to me and asks what horse is, they've got no chance. So that's where they are in a little bit of trouble. So you've got to have I don't have the proper hat on today, so it's okay. Names on the walls. Barto, you were saying there before that you actually the way the signs stick out so people can see them as they walk into the breezeway is key.
Yeah, look, and we did that our first sale of Melbourne last year. We provided exactly the Nutrien branding around Siren Dam as well as the lot number so people could find them. What we've enjoyed this last 12 months, a lot of the studs have said, look, we want to do that ourselves now, but let us put our own branding there, which is just lifting the bar. And I know you set a new standard, the way our horses were presented this year. I think what's really important for us too, you're seeing whether it's these guys, but the size that are represented. In a lot of cases, this is the first progeny sold at auction in the world by some of these sires. So for us, that's important because we'll be representing those yearlings in 6 months, 8 months' time. And
building big relationships. And that's one thing it is about here, isn't it? And it's been very hard to get Stace today. Work, but you can't take you away because it's not just work. You're actually dealing with clients that you want to buy your horse, but you actually want to know how your horse is going from the year before and all the rest. So there's a lot to do here. It's basically building relationships. I love the feel. It's a unique feel here for the weanling sale.
Yeah, networking's a key to being in this industry in general, not just in the breeding side of things. But like you say, a lot of the people that are here looking to buy weanlings from us are also breeders who are looking to book mares into stallions, and they've got progeny that they brought from us at the yearling sales and years before, or they might have just brought something that's by one of our young sires and we want to know how it's going so we can sort of spread the word. So yeah, it's really important as a whole to keep that communication with pretty much everybody, but the clients, the buyers, they're key, and without them we wouldn't be who we are. Yeah.
Might just get you to take a step one way or the other, Stace, just so we can show this board behind. And Barto's probably looking, well, that's all the horses going through the sale. So initially people can actually come here and they can see if one of those or two have been withdrawn out of the sale. So that is the number one component about it. But just, I suppose, explain how this works on sale day tomorrow, because I saw it last year. Absolutely love it.
Yeah, this was originally one of my ideas. With the sales, we have a lot of people coming up after saying, what have you got that's passed and what hasn't sold? So I thought, what's an easy way to be able to show people? So we've got this board here, we put all the pictures up. Obviously it's just a key on a day like today of all the horses, and they can sort of see them all side by side. But tomorrow at the sale, as they're each going through the ring, we've got a couple of girls designated to come and keep it up to date with what's passed in, what their reserve is, and then what's sold. And then obviously as the passed in ones are sold, hopefully, they'll cross them off and put sold. So then it's just a great place for people to come. They're looking for something that, they might have missed one in the ring, so they're looking for something else that might be left over, so they come here, and it definitely works really well.
So just on that, so the ones that are passed in, the girls will know the reserve. Do they write the reserve on here, or they actually know it and people can come and ask those guys that are writing the wall up?
If we know it, we'll write it up on the board. Usually, depending on how the sale's going, there's a little bit of flexibility in the reserve price. But yeah, we're not ashamed to tell people what the reserves are.
So effectively, if it's written up on the board, that is the reserve. So if you can come up with, if it's $3,000, if you can come up with that $3,000, see the girls that are writing the board up, which means, but in all seriousness, you don't have to chase down Andrew Gearson or Mark Hughes or Stacey, because you guys might be in there watching the next one going through, trying to deal with one, trying to get one across the line. They can actually say, I can do that. Just go to the girls. They'll say, rightio, we'll get that done, and go from there. And that's how it works. And it's such a simple idea, isn't it?
It is a simple idea. I mean, there is always wheeling and dealing done after the fact, and so sometimes Andrew needs to be involved to say yay or nay. But yeah, generally it just pulls it out of the picture so that Andrew's in that box all day tomorrow. He's got every second, sometimes every one after another lot. So it just means that he can be up there worrying about that, and we can be down here worrying about trying to get any that haven't sold through the ring.
You just jump in the middle. But you can see, Barto, it's one of those things I love. Like, it wouldn't work for people who've got 1 and 2 horses. No. But if you've got even
multi-vendors,
yeah, exactly. And it's a simple way, and it works 2 ways, doesn't it? Like, it's good for you guys. It's great for the potential buyers that may want to get involved in your stable, walk past the box 10 times, can't find anyone. You can actually come to one spot, watch the girls. As soon as the girls start writing it up, tap them on the shoulder, I want to go back about lot number 1. Like, it's such a brilliant idea.
It's the auction process is around bringing buyers and sellers together, giving them as much information as you can so they're comfortable in that buying process. Having your parade the day before, more time to get horses out and look at them, and I think that's a really important part. And this is, again, it's another tool that helps. Like I say, the agent's job is really to help be that conduit between buyer and seller, and proactive vendors create more sales.
And I will say here, with the guys from NZB, a lot like yourselves, they're here today.
Yep.
Everyone was here today watching the parades. They're actually still in there watching the parades. They've got dinners to go to tonight. They probably want to be somewhere else, but they're actually here facilitating the buyers that are here. There's some big name buyers that are here, making sure that they can facilitate them and get them going. And that is key. And it's key for you, Barto, but it's also Stacey. So I'll get, but double-edged thing, but what you think about it first before Stacey does.
Yeah, no, again, look, we came here a few years ago before we started selling for a reason. These guys have built a reputation about doing it as well as anyone. That's a benchmark of how we want to do it. There's also, across both countries, there's a lot of common elements. Woodlands a common brand, Alabar's a common brand. A lot of the buyers here have seen the horses we've got. So we want to be able to present in a similar way. And the way they do it's the way we do it. Get to know the horses, get to know the vendors. Don't walk into the box and pretend to know. Make sure we know which horses we should be looking at and who's looking at the horses. That's our job.
And they do a very professional job, don't they, NZB?
Oh, we've been really lucky with NZB. The new era, I suppose, of horse sales in New Zealand and the professionalism of the whole team. They make it a breeze. Nothing's too much to ask. They're always forward thinking. They're thinking of new things, new ways to promote the sales, get new people here, get Aussies over. Nothing's ever a hassle. And I think that's really important for a vendor, but also from the purchaser's point of view. And I know Nutrien, you guys are doing a great job and are only going to grow in leaps and bounds as well, so you're heading in the same direction. But it's so important for that process to be easy. You don't want to have a difficult process trying to buy a horse. It should be simple, and NZB definitely make it simple.
And that's one of the key things. We will wrap this up, I suppose, now, but pinhooking, and it's one thing for again, it's probably both of you can answer this question. I'll start with you, Stace, but pinhooking was once a really dirty word, especially in harness racing. No one done it. It is the thing at the minute, and it's a way for your product to be, I suppose, more affordable in a way. People purchasing a weanling and saying, right, we're going to send it to Nutrien or keep it here in New Zealand, put it back through NZB. It's just a great little, I suppose, another way that the money can keep turning around and improve the industry.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you look at some of the stock here today, and if you leave them 6 months, put them through the yearling sales, they probably would sell for a lot more than what they will tomorrow. But you do have to have the eye for you, but gosh, you can have a lot of success doing it. I know there was a filly brought from the weanling sale here, I think it was last year, went on to sell for good money over in Australia. So I'm sure that that's potential for the Nutrien sale going forward for anyone in Australia that's looking for maybe some New Zealand blood to inject into their draft, is to buy something in New Zealand and ship it over. Even the likes of American Dealer, who's obviously done a good job in Australia last season, he was pinhooked here, taken down to Invercargill of all places, prepped for the yearling sales there, sold on, and obviously he's done what he's done. So, I mean, I think it's going to become a bigger part, but it's also going to become harder because more people are trying to do it. So, yeah, definitely definitely a worthwhile exercise.
It's about liquidity too. The thoroughbred market's really enjoyed the liquidity that pinhooking brings to that market. In our performance horse markets, I know our Toowoomba sale is exactly that it's underpinned by people trying to pick a filly or a colt and turn that into something as a 2-3-year-old ridden horse. And the same for these. We've openly taken those horses. If someone wants to bring them across to Australia and try them in that market, we've seen New Zealand size stakes horses paid up in our yearling sales have actually attracted Kiwi interest to bring them back. So it's not just a one-way traffic. Those horses can go wherever they like.
And you and I are going to catch up with James Jennings and sit down with him hopefully tomorrow. If not, it'll be Friday morning. Oh no, it'll have to be tomorrow because you're going early. About that, but just the conversation was they're all for it. As from here, they are all for it, which I think is great for the industry and young participants that want to get involved in the industry. How can you turn a quick dollar? This is a very credible way of turning a quick dollar. If you can pick the right horse, you'll get burnt if you pick the wrong one. But you can. You've got to be realistic. You can't just sell it. You'll make money. But you've got to pick the right horses. But
well,
it
I'd
is
say
a way
when
of
I
doing
came here last time, I see Stacey and her husband bought a yearling here a couple of years ago, and I see her won a race the other night. So she might be the one to help you pick a pinhooked horse if you're after one, I'd reckon.
It is actually one of the big things. Woodlands staff picks. I've got to get around that before the sale goes up. But it's a big thing, isn't it?
It is. I actually have my eye on one to pinhook this year, but everybody's looking at him, so I think that's gone down the drain now. But I mean, that, like I say, it's the hard thing now. Everybody thinks, oh, maybe we could pinhook it and put it through the sales, and you find one that you think you're going to get, reasonably cheap, but several people are on it, so it goes for more than what you think.
Kelly Blakemore, not Blackmore, she actually kneecapped Mark Hughes there before. I thought it was because of the name, but no, she said this is her number one pick, which I think was about 110, was it?
Yeah, 110, little trotting filly. She's, nothing wrong with her. In 6 months' time, she'll look really good in the sale ring, so we'll see how she goes tomorrow.
We'll know if Kel's watched the end of this too. She'll be ready to tell us. Stace, thanks very much for your hospitality, and thank you very much for giving us a bit of time. Bardo, well done. Good for being here. We've got a couple more to do yet with you, and I don't know if this will go out before or after a couple of them, but stay tuned to both Nutrien's page and Campbell's coming through a lot more updates going forward with Nutrien. Going in the
and also they can watch, anyone wants to watch the sales here tomorrow, they'll be live as well. So
on the NZB website is NZB Standardbred, and just go to the live stream and go from there. So it's really, really key. And it's a great way to, I suppose, watch it. I love them. But I'm a sales junkie. I never buy anymore, but I just seem to love them. So I think that's why, because I don't buy. But guys, thank you very much for joining me, and good luck tomorrow, Stace.
Thanks, Paul, and thanks, Mark. Good to
pleasure.
catch up. Hoping to get over for the next Nutrien sale. So we'll see how we go.
Look forward to that. No, very good.